Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Toma, Photo Tom here on YouTube, and today's video is gonna be about 5 easy steps in Lightroom that if you follow, you can turn almost any landscape photo that is boring into a much more interesting one. So first of all, let's establish some rules. Having a boring photo, a boring landscape photo, doesn't mean you ignore composition rules. Composition goes all the way. You need to oblige to it, you need to follow it. So you need a powerful image in terms of composition. You can't turn a bad photo in a good photo. You are turning a boring photo in a much more interesting one. So composition still remains. Now, secondly, what is a boring landscape photo? Usually, I associate this term with the landscape photo when the light is dull, when the light is not interesting, usually in overcast days. This is my definition of boring photos in landscape photography. So if you have another definition, please make sure that you post a comment and tell me about it. Let's get to these 5 easy steps in Lightroom that everyone can follow. And if you like these steps, if you like the result, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel for more similar videos and also vlogs of me walking the nature, man. Walking in nature and vlogging, photographing. Okay, let's get into Lightroom. So step number 1 is to fix exposures in different areas. And I'm telling this because I like to start with a photo that has even exposures on every part of the image. I don't like having areas that are all over the place. It's a boring image, so I like to have everything flat, if you want, in the beginning of the image, so I can sculpt your attention through the elements of the photo. So let's fix the exposure in different areas for this image, and after we did it, we can move to step number 2, which is desaturate. Now, this doesn't mean that you go fully black and white. It means that you slowly desaturate the image until you don't have any other element pop. Remember one thing, when you edit, if you boost up the contrast and the saturation, the differences between different elements in terms of light and darkness or in terms of color will accentuate. Basically, you don't want different elements to get your attention. That is why you slightly desaturate the image. For example, the forest can get a blue cast, and you don't want that because your entire attention will stay on the forest. And as I told you, you want a flat image that you can sculpt on. Okay, that is why you slightly desaturate the image. Step 3, adding drama into the clouds. Now, for me, this is a very simple thing to do. You use a gradient filter in Lightroom, you boost up the clarity, you drop down the shadows, the exposure, increase a little bit the contrast. Basically, you are creating a much more dramatic sky if you want. The clouds are darker, are powerful, and are basically sitting on top of your image in a darker shade. It will function as a stop element, will not let the eye escape in the upper parts of the image. Step number 4, it's the most important one. Because the light is dull, it's flat, it's not interesting, you will use a radial filter to add a point of interest. So you kind of guess the direction of the light and you introduce an area that is much more lighter than the other areas of the image. This is a way for you to add a point of interest at the end of the composition. So the composition takes your eye and you travel through the image with that composition, and when you reach the final point, you will reach it in the place of light. It's a very beautiful metaphor, if you want. So you will increase the exposure in a certain place of the image. It's your call to decide what place you should increase the exposure on it, but it will add a point of interest. It will add an end to your voyage through the photo. And step number 5, it's gonna be using the tone curve, and you will use the tone curve to add a little bit of toning, if you want. So you will add contrast, you will fade the blacks, you will add a little bit of tint of color. You will basically introduce a little bit of atmosphere by adding a color treatment to your entire image. Now, these 5 steps are very easy, as you can see. You can apply to every landscape photo, and I guarantee you that a much more interesting image will emerge for it. Except foggy forests, sunrise and sunset, which already benefit from an interesting atmosphere. So we are talking about dull light and flat light, okay? So you can apply these steps and something very interesting will emerge from your photos. And if you want to explore more editing techniques, you can also support my channel and my work by buying one of my editing courses. The link is in the description of this video. And if you have anything else to add, use the comment section below. Tell me anything. You can express your ideas, you can talk with me, basically you can ask questions. And until next time, keep on photographing, because it's the only way that you can get better. Bye bye.